What's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight? Danny Parker here. Welcome to exclusive WWE Monday Night Raw review results reactions for Monday Night Raw for 2021. This is for Raw results for March 8th, 2021. Right here on the channel. If you ain't subscribed, please do so right now, right here at Danny Parker on YouTube.com. So Monday night, so you know what it means, a brand new episode of WWE Raw that on March the 8th. So we're going to cover everything from the show tonight. So the show started off with tonight's highlight results of for the show will take place. Tonight's show featured a long-awaited celebration for the WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. Last week, Lashley defeated The Miz in a lumberjack match to become the champion. And tonight, the Hurt Business will celebrate in style. However, WWE has announced that Lashley will already defending his WWE Championship against The Miz tonight, so it's could be a short-lived celebration. We also had also on last week Raw, Braun Strowman got it in podium tag team title match alongside Adam Pearce, but lost due to Pearce getting rolled up. Strowman was furious, and tonight he will have demand an apology from Shane McMahon. It seems like those two are beginning a feud that will lead to WrestleMania Showdown. However, it's unclear how WWE will continue the feud until then. Perhaps Braun Strowman and Pearce will team up again at Fastlane, or perhaps Shane McMahon will put the monster in another difficult situation. WWE hasn't announced a whole lot of things for tonight's show for Raw, but we can expect more from Charlotte Flair, the possibility of return to Asuka, as well as Mustafa Ali, new feud with Riddle for the U.S. Championship, and so much more. So let's get into Raw, guys, tonight. So this week's Raw opens up with a look back with Bobby Lashley defeated The Miz to become the new WWE Champion. So we see the Hurt Business walking backstage earlier today. A lot of gold and silver, and Lashley is asking for an interview. He said that he's not a happy man. It's gonna stay. He's a happy man. It's gonna stay that way. Said that though he's been through a lot, so much already, it's a normal man, but he is not normal. He's almighty. And he has waited 16 years of busting his ass and navigating backstage politics and biding time. It's all came to a head last week when he beat The Miz, and now he's going to do it again. And that's okay, because he's going to show the rest of the locker room what waits. Them 16 years is too long. Now it's a go. The almighty era has begun. So we got The Miz, John Morrison came to the ring saying he's standing here empty-handed because of Bobby Lashley. He said that he's fully expected to kick his ass. He don't expect to lose his championship. Shane McMahon screwed him after all endless years travel, signing autographs, making movies, shaking hands. He never took time off. When he says he doesn't feel well, people don't believe him. And he's had crap. He has championships in the world athletics. Sometimes you wouldn't know that he is WWE defended the WWE Championship, and there's a match he counted out and lost. Out, he retained his title. Miz goes on talking about what he did was sketchy, but for sure perfectly legal. His contract has said that he defended the title, but not now. And definitely said that he had a defending it, yet physically threatened and concerned. So we said nobody battled Eyeliner regardless of he gets a rematch. Anyone who celebrates Lashley's win last week, he wants everyone to win because there will be a new WWE Champion. We got the commercial break. We see Lashley has total new entrance, including lightning bolts hitting the stage and a hype video before the Hurt Business music plays. We got the WWE Championship. Lashley defends, VP defends versus The Miz with John Morrison. The match gets underway. Miz rolls out of the ring and wanders around before getting back in the ring. Lashley looks to lock it up, but again, Miz rolls out. Miz is from the ring, headbutts, pulls down on the top rope. We see Drew McIntyre in the ring for the 2 count. Drew McIntyre watches on a monitor backstage. Lashley beats The Miz into the corner, tackling him, but nobody at home. Miz hits the post and falls to the floor. Miz then goes for the shove, shoves Lashley into the ring post, but the champ comes right back with a clothesline. Finally, seen Bobby Lashley gets Miz back in the ring, slams him, beats him on the mat. Lashley then with a massive one-handed spine buster, and then pumps himself up and applies the hurt lock for the win. Winner Bobby Lashley retains the WWE Championship over The Miz. We had a promo video for this year's WrestleMania, which fans will be able to buy tickets, but to go on sale 1 week from tomorrow. We got Drew McIntyre's interview backstage. He's not in a good mood. He said that the only thing challenged there is Drew. Lashley said that working for 60 years but wouldn't fight him. Lashley helped The Miz and then took the belt from him. McIntyre asks if passing where the balls are. Sheamus attacks McIntyre out of nowhere, beat him down to the hallway, and Drew is then shown in the production boxes and walls. Then Sheamus screams at him, "It's not over yet." Sheamus says he will make his life a miserable. We get a commercial break. Drew is stomping around backstage, punching things. Adam Pearce stops him, and Drew shouts out to him to book a match with him and Sheamus tonight. No disqualification. Do it now. Drew walks off and Pearce nods. We had a replay from last week. Sheamus McMahon booked Braun Strowman and Adam Pearce in the tag team match. They lost because Adam Pearce rolled up Strowman, walking around backstage when R-Truth stops him and said that he needs to get something off his chest. she reads bizarre story about how WWE needs a monster to fight the Bad Bunny. Braun makes him pause and says he's going to the ring to make Shane McMahon apologize to him. Then we get a commercial break. Braun is in the ring, comes to the ring. He asks where Shane McMahon's motive is. He said that exclusive for him from the Elimination Chamber match. He's over it, but last week, then they put him in a match with Adam Pearce and made him a tag team with him, or giving him all the comments. He's been making. He thinks it's at him, which is strange because they both know he can snap his neck like a twig. Strowman said that he knows Shane can fire him, but he all wants a damn apology. So we get Shane answers the call and gets in the ring with Braun Strowman squaring up to him, and Shane said he apologized, but then walks off. Braun isn't happy, and Shane stops him on the ramp to speak again. He turns around and then leaves without speaking, and Strowman shouts out after him to say what's on his mind, but Shane McMahon ignores him, and the monster is not satisfied. Sheamus is on his way to the ring, and he'll be facing Drew McIntyre in a no DQ match after the break. No disqualification match. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus one-on-one. See clobber knees, body slams, cluttered onto the steel steps, but Drew puts Sheamus inside and grabs a kendo stick. As he's getting in the ring, Sheamus runs and clobbers him with a knee. Sheamus drops Drew and then lifts him with a kendo stick and then smashes it across his back. And Sheamus stands on the Drew McIntyre's face, lifting up him for a rolling forearm carrier, and then Sheamus goes by Drew McIntyre's face. But he toys with him. Drew headbutts him, and the McIntyre hits a belly-to-belly suplex, and a running neck breaker. Drew up with the grabs him with a kendo stick, papers Sheamus with it all over and over. Sheamus rolls to the outside. Drew grabs rolls out, and then Drew chases him. Willingly, Irish shoves him into the face, first into the ring post, and then hits a one-handed chokeslam onto the announce table, but doesn't break. Before we get Drew goes out to grab Sheamus back in the ring, but he gets him. Sheamus then rolls back out onto the floor. Sheamus catches Drew with a bro kick and then lifts him onto the steel steps. So Drew then runs and catches him with another. Both go on down to the floor. The referee checks on both men, but neither of them can answer, and he calls for a no contest. So Sheamus vs. Drew McIntyre ended a no contest. Referee officials come down to the ring to check on both men to help them come to. We got a commercial break. We see a lengthy video package chronicling the Randy Orton / Bray Wyatt / Alexa Bliss feud. We got the new company, Kevin Patrick interviews AJ Styles and Amos backstage. Patrick starts asking questions, but Styles interrupts him that he's more interested in what's going on between Randy Orton and the Fiend. Styles then says it's incredible to watch. They tear down Orton down bit by bit. And they are using voodoo magic to do it. Orton appears and asks if this situation is funny. Styles then says it is funny, isn't it, buddy? It's weak. Orton says that then they could meet in the ring tonight and he'll show how weak he is. So AJ Styles points to Amos and asks Orton if he needs to even grab bigger problems. If so, he accepts Orton. He accepts, and Orton is just happy. We get a commercial break. We get Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston versus Shelton Benjamin with Cedric Alexander. The winner of this match, we seen Benjamin over and then sides in between the legs, delivers a big forearm. Woods rolls up Shelton Benjamin for a 2 count, but then he eats a boot to the face. Woods rolls up Shelton for the win. Xavier Woods defeats Shelton Benjamin with a roll-up. Riddle is interviewed backstage to ask about how he feels about fighting Retribution. Riddle said that he doesn't get distracted by them. He's more concerned with where he can park his scooter. Riddle then said he can't leave it backstage anymore because he's got a ticket. And he can't take it to ringside because all might be broken around to talk about his video games. Then Riddle gives his scooter to the locker room after. We got Riddle versus Slapjack with Ali. We see the drum jumps for a drop kick and avoids it. Riddle hits his final flash knee for a near fall. Riddle then falls. Riddle looks for a powerbomb, but Slapjack on 1 foot hits a knee for a 2 count. Riddle then hits his impressive counter, and then a leaping knee, and then a bow digger for the win. Riddle defeats Slapjack. All is completely furious after the match. He betrays Slapjack and beats on him. Leaping in and seeing Slapjack beats on the announce desk. We got a replay from earlier today. Braun Strowman came out and demanded an apology from Shayna Baszler. Shannon's backstage with Adam Pearce, and he admits that there is something else he wanted to say, but Braun Strowman, so he tells Pearce to go get Braun and then meet in the ring. The commercial break, Shane McMahon is in the ring, comes down Braun Strowman. Shane gets the ring together, get a better microphone, and starts walking back and around the ring and up the ramp. Shane said he wanted his face-to-face with Braun Strowman, but he looks confused. Shane saying what Braun Strowman made him do. And then he says he's right because he has fun at Braun Strowman's experience. Shane said that there's one thing they have to get done is to come into an understanding. Shane McMahon comes back down the ramp and stands outside of the ring, then turns back and walks back. Shane McMahon takes forever and says it's something he would never do, but Braun looks stupid, and you can tell he's upset with him. Shane McMahon makes other people think Braun is dumb. If they come down not happy with him, he wouldn't say Braun had a big body, but then teeny brain, like a dinosaur. Shane McMahon then mocks Braun and then he runs off, but Strowman chases him to the back, and Shane McMahon is shown through the arena. He gets into the SUV. Braun runs after him, but the SUV takes off. Braun Strowman's not happy and walks off. Then Shane McMahon appears from behind from behind him and laughs, saying Braun is stupid. We get Lana and Naomi dance their way to the ring. We're getting in the women's tag team title match. After the break, we get Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler coming out alongside Reginald from SmackDown. Naomi and Rhea. We get the women's tag team championship match. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax with Reginald versus Lana and Naomi. Winner of this match is back inside. We're seeing grab her sides through. Lana did that into Naomi, and then Lana hits with a powerbomb for the win. Shayna Baszler and then Nia Jax are winners. After the match, Nia lifts Reginald over her shoulders and carries him up the ramp. Randy Orton's interviewed backstage talked about people concerned about the well-being of Orton. That's shocking to him because he's nobody and has ever mentioned anything about him. Orton said that it's all like AJ Styles, laughing at him. Well, he said, see if AJ Styles is laughing once he gets introduced to the three most dangerous words in sports entertainment, RKO. We get Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke interview backstage to talk about being overlooked for the Raw Women's title shot in WrestleMania. The almost vicious talent. Any women, Charlotte Flair walks up, said that they have the right to be ambitious, but they only have 5 weeks to prove it. They have to do what it takes. She hopes they bite it as strong as they bark. We had AJ Styles interview backstage talking about Randy Orton earlier today. Proves that Randy Orton twisted brain mush because he shouldn't be wasting time with him. To be focused on the Fiend going into the tie to the bone. Orton storm into and send him into WrestleMania with a big loss. AJ Styles and Amos make their way out to the ring. We got AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. 1-on-1. We got Orton RKO's Amos, but drags AJ from the ring. A Bliss appears on the screen with a jack in the box and winds it up, but then says, not yet. Bliss lights the match, blows it out. Then the ring posts around the Orton exploded into flames. We're seeing the black goo. AJ then takes advantage, hits the phenomenal forearm for the win. AJ Styles defeats Randy Orton. After the match, AJ Styles quickly leaves the ring, and Orton wipes the goo from his mouth as Bliss comes back on the screen and laughs while Orton stares on. That's it for this week's WWE Raw review results reactions for Monday Night Raw. That's it for the Monday Night Raw review result and reactions for Raw this week for March 8, 2021. If you enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right here or youtube.com at Danny Parker official YouTube channel. That's a Raw review. Hope you enjoy it. Hit the thumbs up as hard as you can. Subscribe. And that's it.